Andy Garcia. I'm your host. This show, we're highlighting different professionals and different professions, going over what they do, why they do what they do, and what led them to that field. The main idea is pretty much to get experiences and experienced professionals that otherwise would go unnoticed, that we didn't know. People don't really know about them. They don't have a huge following. A lot of people don't like to be on camera, so they don't come on. A lot of people don't have the outlet, don't have the ability to come on and share their knowledge, their experience. The health and fitness industry is a industry that's ever growing, and there's always new things coming out. And that one thing that people love is that new exercise, that new stretch that's gonna take everything away, is gonna make your life perfect. People have come and gone with different ideals and ideas that they have grown from icing back in the day to now. The same person that coined that term, redacting it, and new terms coming up where before the people didn't want to do your knees over toes. Now you got the knees over toes guys blowing up. So you have all these different ideas and ideologies and methodologies coming in that trainers are using and applying to their work. And now we want to hear from them. We want to hear what they've been, what results they've seen. Is it working? What's going on? Are these trends real, or are they just trends, or trying to get clout? Because that's the main goal. Also, to highlight these professionals so that one, you can come in and you can say, I'm looking for someone to train me. And I want somebody with these ideas. And now you come in, you listen to the person speak, you listen to the person's, knowledge and experience, and you're like, damn, you know what? That's the trainer I need. That's the person that I want to train with. That's the person that I think will get me to where I want to go. And that's the main idea of this show. My name is Andy Garcia. I'm your host. I'm the owner of Divine Sports Training. I started my own company after I graduated at Florida International University. I've been working as a personal trainer, strength coach ever since. I've had different experiences throughout my career so far. Though it maybe short. It's not long. I don't have a long-standing career. There's some people that have been in this industry for 30 plus years, 50 plus years. I've been blessed to be around people that have been in the industry for long. So I've been able to pick up on a lot of things and learn. And I've been able to apply it to the clientele that I have. The main people that I work with right now is in the ages between 50 to 80, 85, 90 years old, older adults. I love training older adults.
What would you say would be one of the main differences of training an older adult versus training an adult 35 to 45 or 25 to 45?
Their goals, 100%. When you got somebody in their 30s, usually the main thing is, I want to be stronger. I want to look good. And, in the female side, on the man side, right? And then on the female side, you have, I want to lose weight. I want to look skinny. In the older adults, you have those people, but they're more understanding that their time is now, I want to continue moving for a longer period of time.
Okay.
And to be honest, I think that in life, when you go into the training field and the health, that should be your goal. It's to live longer and be able to do the things that you do every day for a longer period of time. And a lot of people get caught up in the sport and in the looks, the aesthetics, and they completely forget functionality and ability later on in life. Everybody's nearsighted. And or far is farsighted when you can't see far.
Nearsighted.
Nearsighted, yeah. People just, they're looking at the short term and they're not really realizing the long term. Now, I will say this. I mean, there's a bunch of studies that have been going on where obviously the longer you train, the better it is. But it depends, man. Some people put their body through a lot in their younger years, and then they get older and they're trying to still do the same things they were doing back then, and their body is just broken down.
I heard something. I don't know if this is if this is bro science or if this is a myth, but I've heard that people that lift heavy weights or moderate to heavy weights build a more dense muscle and then more dense bone mass, and when they're older, their bones are not as brittle.
Yeah.
So they're less. I guess they can do better when it comes to protecting themselves if they have like a fall or something like that. Where
absolutely. So I'll give you more or less like a little bit of the science behind it. So in order for you to move, your muscle needs to pull on your bone through the tendon. That's how they're connected. The muscle, when you give it strong enough contraction, when it pulls on that bone, if the contraction is big enough, it will create these micro tears, not only at the muscle, not only at the tendon, but at the bone, causing what? Now, you have these different cells that go to that bone to then repair the bone and make it stronger at the site of insertion. Not only at the site of insertion, but around the bone. The muscle is not just connected by the tendon to the bone. There's a fascia as well, and ligaments. The body's fully connected to the T, but disconnected at the same time, if that makes sense a little bit.
Okay.
Because I mean, you can literally pull the muscle away from the bone, right? A little bit. You can kind of feel that, but it's attached to it. So what happens is when you generate enough of a contraction, like a strong enough contraction on the muscle to the bone, then you make the bone stronger or denser in a sense. So yes, long-term weightlifting has that benefit and is good, of course, 100%. Now, if functionality is not taken into account, then you have improper function going on and building muscle on that improper function.
Okay.
So what happens is then you have injuries occur.
Okay.
And injuries pile up one after the other, micro tear after micro tear after micro tear, until you start developing different issues with the muscle, with the bone, at the location sites, and then you have all these different arthritis, injuries of the bone. Now it doesn't move properly. The muscle is not really activating fully because it's been hurt for so long.
Okay,
et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Again, our knowledge on this field is very, how do I say it? Like, is broad because there's so much, right? But it's very narrow because there's only so much we can see.
Yeah.
Our science where we are today, I mean, we're worlds ahead. We can see like to the chemical release in our brains, which is crazy to think about, right? Because you just start thinking about all that stuff that gets released into your brain and how it affects you and your mood and everything. So we have gotten pretty advanced, but even then it's still just a micro, a little small dip into the ocean of all that it is our fitness. So I never like to point out somebody and be like, oh, this is wrong. Or this is wrong. Nah, I like to take it in, experience it. Doesn't work for me, move on. Maybe it works for somebody else. Like a lot of people like to knock like different professionals in a different profession. It's kind of like a food, right? That you're like, oh, don't knock it till you try it. And there are some things that are obviously very wrong with certain exercises and things that you shouldn't do. But even that is like, there is a realm of you don't know, where you don't know that might be a good thing, right? And that's with everything in life, you know. So pretty much my goal in life when beginning my career, one, I needed to make an income, but two, I fell in love with the human body and just how it works. So I went through school, got a couple certifications, and then just kept working and built my experience through there. And I love it, man. I love training people and seeing people become a better version of themselves. And I feel like not enough people put themselves through the realm of fitness just because they have a different thought of what fitness is, right? They look at people and they're like, oh, nah, that's not for me because I don't need to work out. But the truth is that exercise is for everybody. The body needs its exercise, its daily exercise, because otherwise we become stagnant. And it's proven that depression hits harder when you're not physically active or even mentally active.
You made mention of the whole ICE and Elevate. There was an acronym for that.
Yeah, RICE.
Right.
So the guy that coined that term, RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. So that's what it means. So pretty much any acute injury, their initial treatment has always been, and it's, to be honest, I'm gonna tell you like this: you go to a hospital today, any nurse, you tell them, "Oh, I injured my ankle. What should I do?" Oh, put ice on it. Everybody to this day is still in that. But the person that coined that term, in I think in 2015 or something like that, he came out and he said, "Oh no, that's not it. Actually, icing actually inhibits your ability to recover." Why? Because the idea is, when you ice your body, you
stop the swelling, right?
The idea is to stop the swelling. How? By decreasing the amount of blood that's going to the area, by compressing the blood vessels. I forget the word right now. So whatever, it doesn't matter. I forget the word right now, but we'll come back to it.
I heard someone say in the middle, I don't know much about the subject, but
yeah,
I heard someone say that the body tries to create sort of like a natural cast, meaning that it swells up so that the area stays in place and doesn't move. I don't know if that's
the swelling. Really think about this. So in the blood, what do you have? You have all these different types of cells that have different missions. Think of them kind of like you have your red blood cells, which are your regular everyday workers, right? They're going to their job to do a certain job, delivering oxygen. That's their job, right? But you have other cells that they are going to fight bacteria. Then you have other cells that are going to repair. And when it swells up, what is it doing? It's trying to bring more blood to that area because there was a damage in that area. So it's trying to bring more of these repair cells to that area. When we ice, we compress those blood vessels. So therefore we create this is the idea. We create like a narrow passage for the blood to go there because we're trying to stop the swelling. But in the new idea is that we need that swelling. Why? Because we want more blood to rush to that area in acute injuries. So again, you go anywhere to a hospital today and they're gonna be like, put ice on that, because it's relatively new. Though we're in 2023, not a lot of people are jumping on train on that. Now you have a bunch of people doing cold plunges right now. That's a whole different idea behind it. But
what do you think? Okay, so I mean, I'll let you close up that idea and then let me know what you think about the cold plunge.
Okay. So then you have these people that just came up, they came back from, they're trying to move on to this new, no more ice thing. But you still have people in the past that are like, oh, no, you gotta ice, right? Again, the science is we have like a drop of everything But it's very well documented now that icing not the main thing to do right after an injury. What you need, that swelling, you want more blood in the area, you need to mobilize the area. Movement is medicine. That's the new go-to. There's always going to be a new. That's the one thing I have realized. I think that this has been in the past. People used to do that anyways, massaging the area and stuff like that. So now we jump into the cold plunging. This is not new. Cold plunging is really what it's called as a Huberman. He's one of the he's a brain surgeon or something like that.
Yeah, he's a brain surgeon.
So he's fucking genius. All right, yeah. Like the brain is amazing. Apparently, supposedly, like you get into the you know, it's cold. It's cold. It's not just cold body of water. It's just exposing your body to extreme and like a temperature that is cold for it. So like right now I'm shivering. Right now I'm having a release of dopamine in my body or certain hormones, right? That is exciting my body. That's
because it's cold in here.
Because it's cold in here, right? So it's just a cold exposure. Or there's also, you know, sauna, because sauna release also has its benefits. Does it work? I'm sure it does. I'm sure that it has the benefits that the studies have come up with. How I see studies is this. Think about everybody sets out a hypothesis. And now what is the scientific method? People test it. They get the same result. Amazing. Somebody might test it. They won't get the same result. Right. Does it mean it doesn't work? No, because it worked for like 10 other people, 20 other people, right? I think it does work. I think it's definitely something that people should incorporate into their life, but we do it unconsciously sometimes. Like we go into a room and now, man, look at me, I'm shivering. I'm having that cold exposure right now. He says, but it has to be a little more extreme than this. I'm just, you know, giving you kind of like a, you know, a small little dose.
Yeah, especially when people do the sauna and then after the sauna, they like go into like a cold bath or like an ice bath. Like that's an extreme because you put your body through a high temperature. And now you're going to go through like a low temperature.
A low temperature, yeah. So again, everybody wants that new idea, that new thing that, you know, that trending, that, you know, getting your body right. Oh, this is the thing that works. I think it does have a really good mechanism in your body and it does work. I think that if applied correctly, you can have great benefits in your life.
Are you familiar with the work of Dr. Danica Patrick?
Danica Patrick.
She speaks about the sauna.
Okay.
And I'm not familiar with the studies, you know, but
not really.
She speaks about studies that show that if you spend 20 minutes, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 times a week in a sauna, that it highly reduces the risks of not Parkinson's. What's the other disease? Dementia, and there's another disease that like makes it difficult for you to remember things.
Yeah.
What dementia? I think it's dementia.
It's probably dementia.
Yeah, it's but something
not too much on the psychological knowledge here, to be honest.
Yeah, no, I don't. I mean, it's just
for the muscles.
The muscles. Yeah, but
muscles.
you know, it's just something. Yeah, it's something to look into. You know, I like it. I enjoy the sauna. I love it.
This is the idea of the show, is to bring on different professionals in those fields and pick their brains. Like, right now, if you ask me, like, there's so much information out there that it's just like it's like food, right?
Alzheimer's, that's the word I was looking for.
Alzheimer's. Yeah, it probably is. There's a lot of there's just so much information out there, and the main goal that we want to do here is kind of like just give you a little bit of each and everything, and just kind of see, hey man, does that work? It's worked for me. Boom. Now you have some. It's a data that's to the one person, and that has a word again. I can't think of it right now.
No problem. So the question that I
Mhm.
had for you is: so you work
Right.
with most of your clients are older.
Older adults after 50 years old. I have some younger adults in their 30s and stuff, but my preferred clientele is in the older age, older stage of their life.
Is there a clear difference between people that are contacting you now to exercise
Mhm.
because they want to have more mobility and maybe they haven't been active people, or they don't have a history of exercise? Is there a difference between those people and then people that maybe have been athletes all their lives and you're just training them now in their older age? Have you noticed any difference?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I'll give you two extremes. I have some that have never been athletes before and they're training now and their movement is god awful, right? But they can perform the tasks when given to them perfectly. Like you're like, oh wow, this person could have been, right? Or where you got me asking like, hey, did you play? No, I didn't. Oh, okay, well, you're moving great. Then I have the athlete that played sports all their life. And then you would think, man, this guy's been training forever. He comes in, he's, oh, I can't bend my knee this way. Oh, I can't go this way. Oh, I can't go that way. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. And then you're like, man, but you've been an athlete all your life. And that's when we go back to that sustaining injury after injury of taking your body, putting your body through your threshold, pushing it through the threshold. Does it really make you better when you're older? Or is there somewhere in between that you have to switch the way you train? That's the part that I'm looking into more. And one of the things of why I'm starting, we're going with this podcast moving forward. And it's to go ahead and get to that conclusion. I mean, we may never get there. We may. I would love to. I may never see it in my lifetime, but here we are today, discussing it. I love that we have this ability to be here. And, I appreciate you for giving me this opportunity to put a mic in front of somebody else that might never have been heard before. Some people might be like, oh, that person should never be heard. I think everybody should be heard in a little bit, because there's always something we can learn from someone, even if it's a mistake.
The dealing with you guys, with you and all, like some of the other trainers that have been here, this is not something that I've ever done as a job. Although I've always worked out, always been at the gym, but it's something that's interesting to me. It's the amount of fields within the physical therapy or the training, the training science, like how many fields. It is interesting to me, like speaking to you guys, like, so can like, because that's what this show is going to be about. Can you tell us a little bit about some of those,
Yeah. So we're not even talking sports,
right?
Because each sport has their own individual strength and conditioning coach and position coach.
Okay.
Like, so a position coach is a coach that's teaching them, right? When you play here, you move like this, you move like that. You cover like this, you cover like that. Position coach. Strength coach. Oh, we got to strengthen and condition this person to play that sport. So these are the two different types. People think that just one coach is that. No. Some coaches, head coaches or something like that, they were strength coaches in the past, or they started their route that way, or they were just like, position coaches, and then they got into the head coaching position. But that's just coaching, right? That's sports. Outside of sports, you got PT, orthopedic, you got chiropractic, all these different fields of, you got massage therapy. You have all these other fields of fitness and health, right? That are to help the person either recover from an injury, prevent an injury, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, and even there, we're not even at the pit, because we can then go into a specialist, a trainer that specializes in training your hips. Another trainer specializes in training your shoulder. Because I know, because of movement and anatomy, but can I say that I can specialize in the shoulder complex and everything about the shoulder? No, not 100%. And anybody that'll get across from me and talk to me right now, there is no way that you know everything 100% of the field that we can pinpoint. So you have a spine. You have somebody that trains specifically your core, as it reflects to the spine, a movement of the spine, neck, even the face, believe it or not, because vocal coaches.
Okay.
You got vocal coaches, which is they strengthen the muscles of your throat to help you speak more firmly. And actually, there's one that's really famous right now. I don't know his name. I can't even think of it. But he helps empower people in their voice to make sure that they pronounce the words right and firmly. So like, this is what I'm talking about. Like, the fitness industry, the health industry is just so much more than just a personal trainer at the gym.
I see.
You know, that the trainer at the gym is going to have a microscopic view of a world that's so much bigger.
Right. Because when you talk about trainer, maybe for a person that's not involved in that field, maybe that's the first thing that comes to their mind. Oh, this is just some guy on the gym with a certificate. But it's way bigger than that, just by sitting with you guys and talking to you guys.
So my encouragement to personal trainers is, listen, it's great that you know so much. The problem is that the knowledge is so large that you're better off focusing on one and pushing through that one than trying to take everything, in. It's too much, man. You can't do it. I mean, it can take a long time, but even then, like, it's just way too much knowledge out there. And my opinion, I think that the reason we're here is so that we can have that. Like, I should be a specialist in this, and then you should be a specialist in this. And like, you know what I'm saying? Even now, we do have that in jobs and professions. You know what I mean? Like, it's just necessary. You go to a job anywhere and you're like, hey man, somebody's the guy that drives the forklift. You only have like 2 of those in the whole building or something like that, right? So why not in the personal training field? We just have, random trainers all over. And I think that gyms, they need to revolutionize and come to terms with, hey, we need to get trainers that are specialized into different areas, like bodybuilding. Like, you want to bodybuild, you want to become, buff and big and look strong, besides getting on trend. But, like, go train with a bodybuilder.
There's another myth there in the bodybuilding. A lot of people think that just because you're going to get on trend or steroids, you're going to get big. That's not the case. Like, you have to work very hard.
Oh,
like when some people see someone that's on steroids, and
it's not just getting on steroids. Yeah.
Like, when people knock, it's like, oh, he's on the juice. It's like, yeah, but if you get the steroids, if you get the shot, and you don't spend the 3-4 hours at the gym, you're just gonna get a bunch of pimples.
Or you don't eat right.
You don't eat. You're not gonna. It's not gonna happen.
You ain't gonna grow no extra
a lot of people
muscle.
think it's just injecting yourself, and then like the muscle just gonna grow.
We used to think that. I mean, there is like formulas that people inject them that makes their muscles grow, but it's not really even muscle. It's like they're just injecting some liquid.
But you can see the liquid, the oils. That's
awful, but that's surgery.
For a person to grow, they have to put in the work.
For sure. No, bro. You still gotta spend the 2-3 hours in the gym, freaking lift massive heavy weights. And that's where I want to go. Like I said, like I want to go ahead and highlight all these different trainers that do this, these things. And like I said, it's just, it's where we should be at. Like if you go into the gym today, let's say you were like, man, my back's been fucked up. You want to go see somebody that's going to help you in your back problem.
Right.
You're going to go see a personal trainer that has a broad understanding of back pain. And they're going to give you some stuff, but at the end of the day, then they're going to revert back to their training ways.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard. It's not gonna be. It's not an easy task to tackle. Any change is always going to be difficult. But I think, if anything, this is the beginning. The beginning needs to start. And hopefully, this is something that we can push forward and now you can walk to an LA and not just have just a random guy that got a $30 certificate to become a trainer.
If you could, without knocking those guys, if you could
listen, no knock to them.
No,
they still learn the material.
Job,
they still do their job. You can
Right.
see like progress. Like,
Right.
listen, you go into the gym, you eat very little, and you work out with somebody consistently, you're going to have a difference in your body.
And there's also people that don't have a certificate that are very knowledgeable, that are self-taught. very knowledgeable.
100%.
And as they say, the proof is in the pudding. The one thing about physical things like martial arts, sports, bodybuilding, working, all these things are physical.
Mhm.
There is no punt faking, and that you can't like it's either it is or it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're either like your body it's either big or it's not. Like you either know how to submit people in jiu-jitsu or you don't.
Right.
Like you either run fast or you don't. Like there's a lot of other areas, where people can kind of fake their way into things, but everything that's physical, you can't fake. It's just so clear. You can't fake it.
But even then, like you can have somebody that trains you, doesn't fix your form, and you continue to lift and lift and lift and lift. And you can have an injury and you can push through it, and you lift something the same way 1,000 times, and 1,000 times nothing happen.
Yeah.
That 1,001 time you lifted the same way, you fucked up. You feel like, that one lift. No, man. It wasn't that one lift. It was a progression of so many bad lifts of over. So can you have results lifting incorrectly as people want to put? Oh, yeah. Think about it. Any change that you do to your body, working out, is gonna make a change.
Right.
Any change. So whether you go from increasing the weight to increasing the repetitions, to increasing the intensity of the workout, to increasing the duration of the workout, any of those things that you do is going to cause a difference in your body and your aesthetics.
Right.
And it doesn't matter whether you lifted it correctly or not,
right,
until the day that you're like, I got to go see a physical therapist because something is going on. Now you have somebody walking and their gait is off, and you're like, what? How is my gait off? It's like, well, what have you been doing for the past 30 years or 20 years? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the thing. Like, I'm struggling with an injury right now. I try to assess what I have done different. And then I try to assess what I have done in the past. It's a lot. It's a lot to research. The injury the mechanism of action, how it has happened, how it's healing, where I hurt, how it hurts. Did it happen that one day that I just miraculously just ran and now I couldn't run anymore? No. It happened from repetitive actions, or maybe going from no action to a lot of action, but it's like throw the papers in the world. We don't fucking know. I've gone seeing different specialists. I got an MRI, CT scans, X-rays, all that comes back. Oh no, you don't have anything. How do you tell me I have nothing, but I got bruises in areas I don't want to have bruises? You know what I mean?
I hear you.
So the idea again is there's so much to learn. There's so much that's out there. And I think, even though we might not be able to capture it all, let's try to get as much as we can.
If you could sit down with anybody, with any coach, any trainer of all time, who would you sit down with and why?
There's this coach, Buddy Morris. He used to be the strength. He was a strength coach. He's a strength coach in the NFL. This guy is like, no, you're good. That's one. I would like to talk to who was the strength and conditioning coach for Muhammad Ali.
What's the reason? Why would you?
Because I want to know what was their thinking in training that athlete, and then seeing how that athlete became so great. You know what I mean? That would be my perspective, is looking at a different athlete and then going like, yo, who was your coach? I can tell you right now, I wish the things I do today is what I wish somebody would have done for me back when I was growing up, and for me today. Like, I would love, and it's crazy. You're like, oh, but you just do it for yourself. Nah, man. I don't care who you are. It is very difficult. It is very difficult to have, and it's hard in the sense of like, oh, I want to apply it to myself, but we think we know so much more about ourselves, right? And you would think that I'm like, yo, I know my body so well and everything, but I am very certain that I may not push my body, or I may push my body past where I should be going. Why? Is beyond me. It's like,
it's kind of like giving yourself a haircut, right?
Yeah. I mean, some people can. I'm not gonna lie, but
the same thing. Some people can. Some people can train themselves, but it's not the norm, right?
But it's not the norm. It's like, it's tough. I mean, it's been that hard for me, at least, to maintain myself and focus on other people, and then but again, growing up, didn't have a trainer. That's what I wanted to do. That's why I became one. I wanted to give that to somebody that didn't have it. So
before we wrap up, what do you think about the Men's Health or the Men's Journal 3 times 15? Do this 3 times 15, 3 reps 15 times, and then you see the guys that are doing it, and that guy's working out for it. Listen. The guys work. That guy spent 6 hours in the gym, and then is that deceiving people? What do you think?
Remember, there's always something to sell.
Okay.
Unfortunately, we live in a capitalist. Fortunately, some people might say. Unfortunately, some people might say.
Okay.
So everybody's trying to sell and make $1 somewhere.
Yeah.
So there was always gonna be like, oh, these are the best 4-hour exercises, the 3 exercises, do these, and you're gonna get these, and it's like, no, you're not. That's not the only thing.
Yeah.
Like, it takes consistency, time again. You know where they got that 10 repetition or 15 repetition that everybody always does? Like, I do it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
No.
3 sets, 10 repetitions.
I do the same thing.
Very good.
I get it. I'm just saying that at times it could be a little deceiving, right?
Oh,
because
100%.
Yeah, you can do 3 repetitions and 15 reps or 12 reps and 3 sets. You can do that.
Right.
but the guy, the person that they're showing you in that picture has done that for probably 10 to 12 exercises. Like, you know what I mean? Like that person spends
No,
3,
and
4, 5 hours.
And they have done countless other exercises.
Right.
So it's like 100% not true. Like if you just look at that and you're like, oh, this is gonna get me. No, it's not.
Right.
Like they're just selling to you exercise.
Right.
You need to exercise.
That's important.
I think the daily the weekly thing is like you should get at least 150 minutes of exercise or something. That's like the guidelines. USA guidelines. That's a bare minimum, my guy.
Bare minimum. Yeah.
That's the bare minimum.
An hour,
and that's, by the way, they named that physical activity. That even includes you just being active, walking around, working.
Yeah, to move your body. You just got to move your body for that amount of time.
100%. So, yeah, the fitness industry has become all about what you can sell and how much you can sell. And it's unfortunate because that's what you get. You know, you show your body, hey, look, I look good. Come train with me. I'm going to get you like that. You cannot 100% reciprocate if the person that's coming to you doesn't put the same effort you did.
You know what? You also have the genetic lottery.
Oh.
Because I've seen people sometimes either on social media or whatnot looking big and jack, and I see that everybody, it's like, oh, he's on trend or he's in. And I know, I have friends for a fact that I know, you know, we grew up like not so rich. These guys don't have access to that. And we were 15 and 16 and these guys were jacked.
Yeah.
Huge, you know? And then and they would eat Doritos and honey buns. And like, I'm saying the genetic
there are some freaks.
Lottery is not fair.
I have a friend that eats like so much. And this guy's a twig.
That's where what you were saying earlier comes into play. Someone can look jacked. It doesn't mean they're healthy.
No.
Doesn't mean their body's healthy.
No. That's what I'm saying. Functionality has a lot to do with it and what they put into their bodies. Man, all those chemicals that we put into our bodies, if you know, we don't know what it's gonna do in 10, 15 years. You know, it could do nothing. I have met people who did long-term steroids, got into their 60s, 70s, and they look great. And they are in phenomenal shape. They can move perfectly. There are others that are fucked up. They can't move. They're like, their whole body is destroyed because of what they went through. Maybe they were putting other stuff in it.
Right.
We can never say with 100% certainty because we will never know. What does the word say? We know in part. And one day we will, you know, it will all be shown to us, right? You know more than I do. Some of it. Right. It goes somewhere like that.
That's right. That's right.
I like to go to where I've learned, and that's something
correct.
that I've heard. And I think that that's true to everything. We will never, it's very hard for us to say we will know 100%.
Yeah.
We'll know 99.9.
You want to repeat the purpose that we can?
All right. So again, in this show, we are highlighting different professions and professionals in the respective fields of health and fitness. We will be going over what these professionals do, why they do what they do, and what led them to this field. The main goal is to learn from experienced individuals and share experiences that will otherwise go unnoticed, and hopefully make a change and bring a new trend to the fitness industry and stop trying to just make a quick buck.